Okay. Well, good afternoon, all of you. Thanks for joining me on this webinar series that we're running in March. A little bit challenging. And now that we're all going through this coronavirus globally, but in any case, sometimes working from home is an opportunity to be able to listen to these presentations and exchange ideas. Today, we're going to talk about our Epygi eQall Softphone. It's like an introduction. It's a new product that we just introduced recently that I think complements very well our offering both on premise and in the cloud. And we're going to have some short presentation and then highlight some of the topics, and then I'm going to jump into the application itself on the Windows machine just to give you an idea of what is what we have to offer in here, what is going to come later on. So in essence, we're going to talk first about our Epygi Cloud briefly. We introduced cloud services about 2-3 years ago, and essentially focus on two services. One of them is our virtualized Epygi PBX or the QX PBX appliance that we've been selling for quite some time. Essentially virtualized it to sell it in the cloud, and we offer it as a hosted by in our own servers through our portal that we designed for the resellers to activate and create instances of the PBX and some additional features. And we also offer the software for those who wants to run their own environment. And both of those have had good acceptance, especially a lot of the folks that have been using appliances that want to try the cloud version because the customers are demanding to go from on-prem to cloud, while some of the others is the other way around. They want to go from cloud to prem. But anyway, we have the ECQX and we also have the ECMon monitoring service. And with ECMon is a new service that applies to both the cloud and the appliances. In the case of the cloud, it comes included with any cloud service. In the case of the appliances, you buy on a per appliance service for a year. It's about $20 a year for a single appliance, or if you got more than 10 appliances, it's going to go down to 15. But for $15, you get access to the platform where you can monitor the device, you can get alarms, you can do certain administrative tasks like firmware updates, reboots, and also manage your configurations of the devices, set up alarms on events, and you can even do remote access to the GUI of the PBX and the phones behind them. So also gives you a little bit of data on registration of devices to the PBX, like phones, and usage, maximum number of calls on a given time frame and so forth. So it's an excellent management tool, essentially designed for you as a reseller to give a better service to your customers. So a couple of items to notice. As usual, we don't terminate calls. We just provide, in the hosted case, the PBX service. On the cloud, you bring your own SIP trunk, as you normally do on the appliances. And as far as the endpoints, we work with a lot of published models of most of the active brands. There's over 150, 160 models across the most popular SIP phone brands that we enter up and auto configure. So it saves you time. If you stick to what we have on our list, you don't have to go over and do testing yourself. You're getting assurance that we have played with those devices in our lab and you can use them to connect to the PBX. So some of the advantages of using Epygi systems and services. And of course, the new eQall is what we consider to be completing the solution, because it gives you the ability now to use our eQall as an endpoint in addition to the IP phones that you can buy on the market. So what is eQall? Oh, well, it is pretty much a soft phone developed by Epygi. We've been working on this for close to a year. And again, it's going to give you mobility and flexibility to the end customer in many ways. You can use it as a replacement to your desk phone, or you can use it a complement to your desk phone. I mean, the fact that the way we have designed it also gives you the capability of the BLF keys, which we call in this context MPK keys, gives you pretty much the same experience you will have with your desk phone, but on your laptop, in the case of Windows, or in the case of mobile, it will be for Android and eventually for Apple iOS. Okay. Uh, so for the cloud customers, it's ideal because right now, if you got customers that are going to be using this and you're not going to install any IP phone, then you pretty much don't have to go to the customer site and set up anything on-prem. So from that perspective, it makes it a lot easier for the cloud customers to use the eQall as the endpoint. Uh, you download the applications. Actually, we have a link on our website to both the Android and the Windows. And you download it. It doesn't cost you anything. And the Android is from the Android store. And then configure it to your specific QX. Now, it is a licensed product. You pay a license to activate the use of eQall on the PBX. In the case of the um, cloud, it comes in as a service type license. So our cloud products you buy on a per extension per month basis. The eQually would just be a delta, an additional item on that. In the case of the PBXs appliances, it's a license like any of the other licenses that we have, like extensions or call recording or whatnot, where you buy it one time and it's a permanent license. Okay, and of course, if you as a reseller, you get a discount from distribution. So it's a catalog item. We sell it in groups of four. Four equals are MSRP $180. Okay. All right. There is a new release, 635, I believe, that is the one that includes eCall. And in that release, when you update it to your QX devices, you will get one free permanent license. So you can play with that or have a customer try it. Actually, it's ideal. You can just activate it while you update your customer software, let them try it, and if they like it, then they can come back and buy it. So there's a free license on the latest software with eCall. And as I was saying, it's going to be available for iOS later this year. We're expecting summer, may take a little bit longer, but it's coming. All right. There's a version 1, which is the one we released, and we're going to have a second release later on after we get the iOS. Maybe we do it before that. We're not sure yet. But essentially, in this release, you can have as many as 8 SIP accounts registered on the eCall. One of them will be the preferred one or the default one, and I'll show you that later. You're going to have the basic call management functions, hold, three-way call transfer, caller ID, call history, so forth. There's also a call quality indicator. It's shown on the screen on an active call. Kind of helps you a little bit when you don't get audio. You can take a look in there to see if you're receiving or the application is receiving any packets, for example. And it helps you debug it and a little bit or see what kind of codec was used and so forth. It does support several codecs, most of the popular ones, including Opus. And it also works with the native dialer on your mobile device. So if you got a contact list on your device and you select a contact, when you make out a call, you can click on the info key there, and then you'll be able to select the call to go out via eCall instead of your native mobile dialer. It does have voicemail notifications that you can actually play your voicemails. You can do not disturb and call forwarding toggles on the PBX through some keys on the application. I'll show you that a little bit later. Multiple contact list. There's several of them. I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on that later. It makes it very easy to go and group out the contacts to be able to do outbound calls. And if you get a GSM call coming in on your device, it's not going to close your call. Okay, so that DSM call is going to be ignored. All right. Additional items on version 1, the multiple programmable keys, the MPKs, several options in there, very similar to what you will do on a IP phone. I think that's sort of a differentiator in our soft phone, the fact that you can have this key. So if you're familiar with your desk phone, especially if you're going to have this as a parent-child type or an extension to your desk phone when you're away and you're familiar using some of these keys on your desk phone, this is very helpful. And I'm going to show you some of the keys later on. But in any case, you can have general voicemail keys. You can have a call blocking, speed dial, call parking and retrieve, watch extensions. You can set up speed dial for conference rooms, audio conference rooms, callback, also have ACD, activate, deactivate. And for example, if you have a scheduled routing rules for day-night service, you can also have a key to, toggle that, activate or deactivate rerouting on a call. So for example, you're leaving on the day, you go to that key, you push it, and then now the call goes onto the auto attendant because you already left the office. Push notifications, widely used nowadays to be able to save battery life and waking up the application in order to meet the new requirements for a lot of the mobile apps. So we're playing by the rules there. There's an instant message application, a chat between users of eQall, so you can do IM with one or many active chats at the same time. And actually, you can even send out a message on to an IP phone. For example, a desk extension on the PBX that has a screen. Of course, everything has a screen nowadays. You will be able to send a message, and most of the phones are going to be able to display that. I mean, how practical it is, but it's debatable, but it's something that you can do if you want to do that. There's you can set it up for secure communications via the SIP protocol, TLS, secure SIP, secure RTP, and it registers with the PBX anywhere. I mean, if you're using this on your laptop, you can do it in your office, you can go home, you can go to a hotel, pretty much registers very well all over the place. And then same thing applies to the mobile devices. So if you're on a mobile, you come back into the office, you were in a data plan, you go into the office into Wi-Fi, then you're going to be able to connect from there. So from that perspective, the registration connectivity is fairly, actually, it's more than fairly good. It's very good. And then we're going to have some changes coming up in other releases, like some people want to upload their own logo, take the Epygi logo away to personalize it. You can do that, or you will be able to do that. I don't think we have it available yet, but it will. It's very similar to what we do with the PBX, where you can actually remove our logo on the GUI and upload your own, and you can do that today. All right. From an auto provisioning perspective, uh, we're trying to make it very easy. It uses essentially once you configure the eCall on your or you select eCalls as an endpoint on your PBX for what we call the IP lines, where you typically select a normal IP phone, where you select eCall as your phone. And then once you do the normal settings that you would do with a regular desk phone, then at the end it pops out a QR code shown on the screen. If you have the GUI open, you can take your mobile device with our application and take a picture of that code, or you can, you can send that code as an email, or you can print it, or you can save it. I think it's an MSI or some format similar to that. In the case of Windows, exactly that's what you will do. You will download the application on Windows, and then when you are going to activate the account, all you do is load up that, select a file for that QR code, and voila, you're done. It registers. In the case of the mobile devices, again, just take a picture of the QR code and you're done there. So we'll try to make that very easy. And what we have done is the QX device is going to talk to our platform and try to navigate some of the not traversal public IP addresses and some other items similar to stone and turn type protocol functionalities to be able to put that information on the QR code and make the soft phone be able to register a lot easier when you're behind a NAT. Okay. Now, if you have a QX device behind a router, you're going to have to do some open up some ports. Otherwise, our device is up and the internet cannot get in and register. But in any case, you don't have to adjust anything manually on the eQall application itself. You just have to mess up with the ports in the router, and our documentation gives you that information. In the case of the cloud, then you don't have to do anything because we're pointing right at the cloud, and you should be able to be registered without having to do anything, even when you are on a Wi-Fi behind your company router, unless your company router has very, very strict firewall rules. Okay. Then version 2, that's going to come in later. I don't know exactly. We're shooting for summer, but we want to do the iOS first. And then it will have some features. This is not exhaustive list here. We just have some placeholder features, and anything can change based on customer feedback. I mean, if you are familiar with Epygi, you know that we're very listen a lot to what you have to say. Since we control all the software development, we can react to what your interests are, and in many, many cases, a lot of the features that we add on the product have been requested by customers. So something you cannot enjoy with some of the other vendors, but from that perspective, we listen a lot. So at the end, this version 2 may have all the things that you may want that are not here in the list, but we want to do video support. Want to be able to do like end-to-end call encryption, integration with OpenVPN, so that you can do OpenVPN registration native on the application. Do hand over a call across networks. In other words, a transparent handover, like the one we do with the eQall application, the callback, where we can do the toggle between desk and mobile device. Something like that, but across networks, when you're switching in from one to the other. Group messaging and the chat rooms. Right now, the chats are one-to-one. You can have many chats one-to-one, but this will be more chat, group chat. And of course, adding the eQall toggling to this application too. All right. Try it. Like I said, you have a free eQall license in the latest 6.3.5, pretty much released on the portal now. And due to this coronavirus issue that we're all facing right now, we decided to allow you to let us know if any of your customer that is using QX or cloud wants to set up eQall extensions for working from home. Just give us the unique ID or the serial number of the unit and tell us how many eQall licenses you want, and we'll give them to you for 30 days for free. Let them be able to work from home. Later on, if they want to keep it, they may buy it. But at least they can get by and work on their laptops at home or on their Android phones. And we're going to have that active now. We're saying until the end of April, but depending how this coronavirus deals plays along, we may extend it. So it's not a hard date. I mean, at the end of the day, just tell us what you want, give us the ID, we'll give it to you, and then later on, we can talk again. If this thing extends, we can extend it for you. But the bottom line is to let your customers ease through this pain, and obviously our interest for them to buy it long term. But it will give you an opportunity to have them working. You don't have to go over to their home and set up a Polycom phone. Let them do it through their laptops, and it will help out. So anyway, that's what we're offering now, and like I said, just send us an email to sales@epygi.com we'll take care of it right away. And like I said, ECQX or eQall is excellent for the ECQX cloud users. For that reason, you don't have to go over on site and install a phone. Now, another thing that it will be very popular, especially for those guys who, want to work from home, will be to use a parent-child setup where they still have their desk phone, but then you create another extension on the PBX, add eQall to it, bind it to the parent extension, and now it doesn't matter when the call comes in and it rings the desk phone, it's going to ring your eQall, and you can answer the call or vice versa. You just pick up the phone and dial out. Now, you can do the same thing with Find Me, Follow Me for inbound calls, but then if you're on the eQall doing an outbound call, Find Me, Follow Me essentially makes the eQall a separate extension number. So parent-child is kind of ideal for this situation. And if you don't know what parent-child is, think about a phone in a high-end hotel where you got a phone by the bed table and you got another phone in the bathroom, and they're both one and the same. Incoming calls rings both phones. You pick up the phone, you dial out. It's like you're dialing from the same extension. Okay. Now there's some screenshots in here that I'm going to go through just to give you a little feel for the flow. This is for an Android phone, and then I'm going to show you live a couple of the same thing on Windows, and then we'll be done. So for creating accounts, you can see here you're going to have a selected or a I'm going to pick up here a spotlight. You're going to have um, a default account that is going to be shown here on the top left, and then you can have other accounts that you can add in. Of course, once they're active and registered, you can receive calls in those accounts, but when you do an outbound call, it's going to come out of the default account. Okay. Here, if you got a basic call, all you got to do is open the keypad, select the extension or the number you want to dial, and then there you go. You call, it's calling it, and once it is connected, you're connected to the call. Here is a native dialer view. For example, in this case, we got Andy's name on a contact list. You select it. It gives you the option. It gives you the option down here for using the native phone, text message, or video call here in Android, but then you hit the I button and then you get another option here, which is eCall. You click on eCall and voila, there's a call going out. Okay. Blind transfer, same thing. You initiate a call, you hit the transfer button, which is this one here on the keypad right here, and then you just come out with another dial the second number you want to transfer the call. You hit the green handset and boom, you have transferred the call automatically. Attended transfer is a little bit different. Let me see. In this case, you do the same thing. You start with a call that you set up, and then you hit the add a call button, and then you get a chance to dial a second number, and now you're talking to the second extension. In this case, it was 49, but your first extension, 41, is going to be held on hold right here. You'll see it right here on the bottom, and you can actually click this call back here, and it will switch between the two. Okay. All right. Next, three-way calling. Very similar. You do an IO call, you add a second call, and then you hit the call conference button. You're in a three-way. By the way, the three-way on our Windows, we're having a bug on that we're going to fix, but we have a bug on the button. It's not working right now. Okay, messaging. Here we show three chats, different messages going on. And the message going out coming one color, the ones going in coming a different color. Okay, and contact list, this one I'm going to show you on the live demo, but essentially you have contacts from your phone contact list. You can create personal contacts. You can also do see all of the PBX extensions, okay, if you have selected them to be in a public directory, and you can also create favorites. And I'm going to show you in a little bit how that looks. It's better to show you on the application. Like I said, native phone book, personal, the QX phone book, and your favorites. So your favorites is essentially selecting from any of this other list. In the case of the Windows application, you can get the Outlook phone book also. So you have plenty of selections of contacts to be able to use on the mobile device. Here's an example of how we take, for example, from your phone contact book as Andy White, we can add it with a star, and then it becomes part of your favorite extension, or part of your favorite directory, sorry. Okay, and then this is probably the best part of the application, which is a multifunctional programmable keys. If you look at the top right there, there's an a little icon, and I'm going to show you in the live demo. Opens up or you can slide a window from the right to the left, and then you have 20 programmable keys, or BLF keys. We call them MPKs, where you can do many things. You can have a button for calling back a missed call. You can have a button for blocking the last caller. You can have speed dial buttons, and these can be any number, or including, which is very practical, conference rooms. So if you have audio conferences rooms, you can use them on speed dial to get to them a lot faster. You can do watch extensions. In this case, you're watching an activity, and the icon that you see here in green means it's on hook. If you see it in yellow, it's ringing. If you see it in red, that extension is in use, okay? So you can watch extensions here. You can also have line info, which is our star 74 code. When you do that on any IP phone, it tells you what is the extension, the IP line, the SIP number that you have on that device. You can do the same thing with a line info key, okay? You can do call parking, so they put park extensions. So in this case, if you're talking to somebody, you want to park the call, page somebody else, then slide it out, hit the call park button. It will show it in red. The call is parked, and then you can do whatever and then pick up the call later on, chat to a colleague or page or whatever. If you do night and day type activities, then you can have like a night and day toggle. This is what I show here in schedule, where you can activate, at the end of the day to go, the call go to auto attendant, for example, or voicemail, I'm sorry. Anyway, there's a couple of more I'm going to show you in a minute here, but this MPKs are a big differentiator. I mean, other soft phones are just a soft phone. This gives you a different experience, pretty much very close to what you have on a desk phone. Okay, I already showed the watch extensions. In this case, you can see here in the middle a yellow one icon and a red one. One is ringing, the other one is in use. Okay, and of course the speed dials. In this case, Andy has a speed dial, but you can have the same thing for audio conferences. In the case of a call park, excuse me, you're talking to somebody, you hit the call park key, the call now is parked, in this case on extension 25, and then somebody else can pick it up later on by hitting the pickup key. Now, again, if you have call park on your eCall on one of these MPKs, your colleagues in the office are going to have it the same keys if you want to on their SIP phones. Okay, so I mean, the fact that you can park a call on eCall doesn't mean that you have to pick it up on eCall. You can pick it up on any SIP phone connected to the PBX. Okay, share voice mailbox, that's another option. And in this case, that is used by many companies where incoming calls, let's say to the sales department, if no one answers, then it goes to a general voicemail box. We call it share or general voicemail box, and then you can have a key where anybody can see messages in there and pick them up. Call blocking. And finally, competitive advantage. Before we get to those, let me go back and share my screen. Okay, I'm going to share my screen on my monitor here. I think you're seeing the application. So what you're seeing right now here is my eQall on Windows. I'm going to hide the MPK keys. If I go click on my MPK button right here, I get my MPK keys. And I can, for example, I can dial this extension 151. Okay, it's ringing on another phone here. Okay, and I can answer that call. Let me go over and turn the microphone off for a second. But you can see, hold on, let me turn this microphone off. You can see here that that extension 151 is in red. It is showing that it is in use, okay? And if I do that again, you can probably see it ringing. See in yellow now, it is ringing. I'm gonna answer the call. And then I'm gonna get the microphone off here. So in this pane in the middle in here, what you're seeing is, and I think you can see my mouse. Yeah. In the pane here, you can see hold the call. You can get the keypad. You can mute the speaker, mute the microphone, which is in red now, which is what I just did. In the case of call recording button, you will be able to do if you want to do a call recording button based. Most of the call recordings are done based on the call route on the schedule. But if you want to do it like activate on a button, record, do not record, toggle type functionality, you're going to have that button here for that purpose. Transfer, send a chat message, start a new call, and then, of course, the three-way conferencing and eventually the video. This top bar on the left that is popping up a window now is the call quality window. And if I move it there, a little window pops up. It tells me the bandwidth, the quality of the call, and the codec used. The icons in the top are to toggle do not disturb or to toggle forwarding. And then on the top left in here, I can see that I have 6 voicemails that I need to pick up. So this is your voicemail indicator. Let me hang up this call for now. This is your, like I said, your main screen for your dialing. If I want to go to settings, here's where I create my accounts. In this particular case, I have only one account, Mario Lab 104, which is turned on, and it's in green. It means that it's registered. But you can add other accounts in here, and all you do is click on the add account, this QR code icon, and that's where you add the file in the case of Windows, or take the picture in the case of mobile. You also have, select the audio devices, and troubleshooting. This is important. If you have an issue with this application, you can set up this login level to verbose, and then you can either view the logs or you can send the logs. And what it does is that you click in here, it pops out an email with the logs attached. You can put some text in there, what your problem is, and send it, and it goes to our support team, and then they can take the logs and take a look and try to work out the issue. Okay. In the bottom, like I said, we got the dial pad. We do have the contacts. Now, this is Windows, so I either have my Outlook contacts, which are the ones that I clicked in here, and I got a bunch of contacts in here, and some of them don't have a phone handset. That's because I don't have a phone number with them, associated with them. But then you can click on this contact, and then you can add it to the favorites. You can have your personal contact, which is ones that you add to the application, and you do that on the top in here, where I have this logo. You can, in this case, have the phone book contacts from the PBX. So you can get all the PBX contacts shown in here, and then you can, if you hit a star, then you're going to be able to add that in your favorites. So finally, you're going to have your favorites list. And here's where you have all of those starred contacts that you picked up from the other directories. And then either you can chat by hitting this icon, or you can do a phone call. So if I go hit a phone call on ME151, it rings my buddy on the other end. And you can see that it's a washed extension. So it's actually ringing right now. And then I'm going to answer it, and then it turns into red. Let me shut this off here. So again, that's what you get on the contacts. Now, if I want to do to Mr. ME and send them a chat, I can click in here. Now I'm in the chat list. I can type in here, hello 151. If it is received at the other end, it's going to come out with a green button. And then I have just received a message in here. I'm going to have 151 send hello to 104. And voila, I got a chat back. So you can have several chat messages. Now this shows in here that I got different chats, active chats going on. I can delete them, or I can go to MJ, for example, here and say, hello, MJ, and chat with him. I don't know if he's active or not. Actually, he's not active because it is in red, but I can probably chat with Andy. Let me see if I can select from here. I'm going to pick up Andy, which is 150. Hello, Andy. And then hopefully he got the message. Maybe he's going to reply back to me. Okay, he's in Dallas. And but I know that he got the message because I got a green dot in here in the chat. So anyway, so that's a chat. And then here, of course, this is all your call history. You can call back if it's an outbound, an inbound, if it was a missed call, and so forth. So as you can see, you got pretty much all the buttons that you need. And then, of course, here on the MPKs is where it gets very interesting. For example, I can place a call. I can place a call to, let me go try 151 again. 151 again. And then I can answer that call, and then I can park it. I can hit the park extension here. And as you can see, I dial 151 is busy. 151 is now parked on extension 121. And the whole music that you hear is my laptop with 151 that is essentially parked. And I'm actually getting a call back from this here. Let me cancel that because I hit the button. So what I just showed is I did a park and a retrieve on a park call that I had on 121. So you can have park extensions. I can call my conference room. I have 123. You are connected to the phone conference. And I could be on that conference room. First participant in the conference. In the case I'm the first participant, or I have the wash extensions. I can block a call. I can toggle ACD and have the line info. Let me show you about the line info. This phone is connected to IP line number 4. Extension is 104. Okay, so it's pretty much the same thing you do with an IP phone. Then I can hide my MPKs, and if I minimize my eCall and I do a call to 104, you can see that there's a pop-up in the bottom. I don't need to have the application open. I can click on the application and it will pop up in the screen. Okay. So I think I didn't do the transfers and the holes and all of that, but I just wanted to give you an idea. Let me go back to the presentation here for a moment to wrap it up. What I wanted to do is to give you an idea on the Windows demo of what you can get. And I think the fact that you can try this and experience it to yourself is going to go a long way. I mean, a presentation can only go so far. But I want to wrap up by just giving you a competitive advantage on Epygi very briefly. You know, as many of you have seen this before in other presentations. Everything is done in-house. We've done all the software, okay? And we continue to expand. We're now working on doing some CRM integrations. We will have Microsoft Teams integration connectivity shortly in our next release for those guys who want to connect to MS Teams. You get free firmware updates in our portal for life. You don't have to pay maintenance for that. Everything is on open standards. Obviously, SIP is the dominant standard in this pretty much in VoIP nowadays. Excellent technical support. We got excellent tech trainings. Andy does a fantastic job, either live or through some of the webinars that we have recorded. And of course, we have the videos on the portal for that. But the products are mature. We've been on this business for 20 years. We didn't just come up with this, in our garage a couple of weeks ago. So you got a product that is solid. You can do remote setup if you want to. The ECMon is a great tool for doing that or managing your devices. Low power consumption, options for redundancy, which we have on the PBXs. Always new software features. We're going to come out with something new every release or every other release. A lot of integration with third-party hardware and software, and complementary cloud services. But above all, you're getting great value because our prices are very, very reasonable. Okay, so that's it. That's part of our team, our guys in Armenia here, and then of course from the social media. So at this time, we finish up this presentation. I'm going to see if there's any chat questions. Any questions at this time? Okay. Again, we will send you, because you registered, the slides. And if you have any interest in testing eQall or taking advantage of the promo, if you want to call it, for this coronavirus issue, I don't see it as a promotion. I think it's just an opportunity to take care of your customers. Just send us an email to sales@epygi.com and we'll take care of you right away directly. So I do have a question, and it says, can you explain the licensing when using parent-child? When you're using parent-child, you're essentially creating two extensions in the PBX. So you're using two extensions. One is your desk, and the second one is where you would register eQall, okay? And then you are binding them in the PBX as a parent-child extension. So yes, you're using two extensions because you have two separate devices registered as an extension. There is one way to add an eQall to an extension without taking a second extension. And let me explain. Let's say you have extension 25. If you create eQall as a remote extension, then it does not take away a second extension of the PBX. It is bound to extension 25, but then you can only have one of the two register at the same time. So you either have the desk phone registered, or in the case when the remote extension registers, then the desk phone does not register or is unregistered. Okay, so it's either or. We find that's okay for some people, but the majority of the people prefer to have a parent-child because that way it rings both phones. They don't have to mess around with registering and unregistering. Okay. I hope that answered your question, Wilfred. If it didn't, let me know. Any other questions? Okay. Okay. So again, send us an email. Try it out, and you'll be pleased. And I think your customer the same way. So nothing else to say. I thank you all for participating today. I wish the best for you during this hard times. And again, you have a good afternoon, and stay tuned. We got more webinars coming up in the next week or so. You have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hey, Mario. Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye bye.
Same to you.